Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saieed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. We have a little update for you. Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar was voted the People's Choice for Caribbean Global Leader at the Caribbean Global Award in London, topping a field that includes several other regional leaders. Congratulations to Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar on her win. Now, unable to attend because she was at the UN General Assembly in New York over the weekend, Persad-Bissessar delivered a message thanking organizers, guests, and the Caribbean diaspora. She called the award especially meaningful because it came from the people and said it belongs to all who believes unity is the region's strength. Listen to this, Trinidad and Tobago.
I learned that leadership is not a privilege, but a duty to serve. Throughout 4 decades of public service, I have sought to turn compassion and equality into action. Tonight's celebration is more than an award. It is a reminder that recognition must serve a purpose. Even when progress feels like 2 steps forward and 1 back, we must keep faith, choosing evidence over noise, dignity over cynicism, inclusion over indifference, and truth over silence.
So viewers, welcome to Real Talk. Remember viewers, I said you just have a few days again to get the 6% on your fixed deposit with your interest up front. Remember, 6% was running for the month of September because we went into the 63rd year of being independent. Remember that, Trinidad and Tobago. Few days again, those of you who did not get the opportunity, you have a few days again to do so. So before we go any further, viewers, I would just like to say, Real Talk Equipment Rental, we got some new excavators. It's 2023 model. It's up for sale or rent. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, with the excavator, you're getting a complete new brand auger system together with the excavators. They are 2023 model, viewers. These are the auger new brand system together with the excavator. Trinidad and Tobago, call me 339-1670 and you will get a price. As I say, the excavator is like new brand. We are in 2025 and those are 2023 model. It is 305.5 and 306 excavators. Cat is the model, Caterpillar is the model. You can't go wrong. Also, Trinidad and Tobago, Real Talk Yacht is up for rental as of today. It is up for rental, viewers. Those of you who want to go down the island, you want to go on Lime, couple hours, not a problem. Friends, family, of a crew, contact me, 339-1670, viewers. Book the yacht, we're going down the island. Those of you who would like to see me too on the boat is not a problem. I cruising with you all on the boat, having a nice time. Remember that. So we are going to have a lot of events coming up, viewers, on the boat itself. We cater for 15-20 people. We're trying to stay within that so everybody could have free passage on the boat. You could go down the island. For those of you who were viewing my TikTok and Facebook page yesterday, Sunday, would have seen that I was on the boat cooking yesterday. So down the island, Trinidad and Tobago, you could go down, you could have a little cook and really enjoy cooking on the ocean. Curry duck, hunting season opening, I believe, on the 1st of October. You could cook your wild meat down the island. Enjoy it. So remember, Trinidad and Tobago, spread the word. Real Talk Yacht Legend is up for rental to go down the island and rock back. After a hard week or hard days, we are there to make sure you enjoy your down the island trip. Sunday to Sunday, the boat is available. We have a captain, so you don't have to worry. He's quite experienced. You know, Real Talkers have the best. We have the best. So, as we go into our news tonight, former Prime Minister Dr. Saieed Ali appeared to be a sweep at Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar hours after her address to the United Nations General Assembly on Friday. Soon after Persad-Bissessar's speech, Rowley shared on Facebook a video captioned, "When Trinidad and Tobago had leadership that it could be proud of." So I want to ask Dr. Rowley, what kind of leadership should we Trinbagonians be proud of? What kind of leadership does Trinidad and Tobago have for the last 9 years that we should be proud of? Keep in mind, you, Dr. Rowley, and your team, the PNM team, were voted out of office. Remember that. So the team that you are talking about, or the leadership you're talking about, Gatsby Dolly, who couldn't have proper education in Trinidad and Tobago for school. We're talking about leadership as Terrence Dialsing, who went and opened a partly finished hospital. We're talking about Terrence Dialsing. We couldn't have proper medicine and proper facilities in Trinidad and Tobago. That's leadership. You want to talk about leadership? Let's talk about Rohan Sinanan. We ain't even have a proper road in Trinidad and Tobago after 9 years. You want to talk about leadership? Let's talk about Fitzgerald Hines, who told Trinidad and Tobago, it is not my job to keep all you safe. Let's talk about leadership. Well, larceny, murder, rape, home invasion, carjacking, robbery on the streets went up. Is that leadership? Tell me, is that the leadership you're talking about? Let's talk about Imbert. The leadership that Imbert produced for Trinidad and Tobago is that I raise gas once, nobody has said nothing. I raise gas twice, they take it and say quiet. I raise it 3 times, and what did they do? What did they do? That is leadership. Suffering the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Is that leadership? So I've called out the 4 main things: education, security, health, and schooling. The 4 main things that we're supposed to have proper in Trinidad and Tobago, an oil-designated country. What do we have after 9 years? Or you still have the pothole in front of your house. Or you still can't get water. You're talking about leadership where Marvin Gonzalez telling Trinidad and Tobago citizens that you have to carry out your children 1 time for the month while he got an increase in salary. Is that the leadership you're talking about? And I could go on whole night. But nevertheless, the clip showed him during his tenure as Prime Minister speaking on tension between the United States, the European Union, and Venezuela, and stressing CARICOM's stance on the Caribbean as a zone of peace. Opposition Senator Dr. Amy Brown also stated that Prime Minister address was ill-advised. You know, none of them, not one of those PNM heads would come out and say that we were doing business with a sanctioned country. And they have to say, thank God the United States ain't drop a sanction on Trinidad and Tobago for dealing with a sanctioned country. I'm going to tell you something. All you have no idea how lucky we are today. You all have no idea how lucky we are today. Because I am sure, definitely sure, if Rowley didn't call election early and left before Trump come in, I'm going to tell you something, we would have got sanction in retail. Trust what I'm telling all you. Trust what I'm telling all you. We would have gotten a sanction in our tail. Dealing with a sanctioned country. What the U.S. have in the international waters right now? They have warships. What are they going after? Narco-terrorists and drug traffickers, human traffickers, drug smuggling. To where? The United States. Dr. Rowley smelt it early and come out 1 time. Otherwise, waiting what happened to Trinidad and Tobago. Today you all know, let me tell you something, you don't know how lucky you are. Otherwise, sanction in retail too. And companies now that are doing business in Trinidad would have pulled out and leave us stranded. Stranded. But nevertheless, listen to this video.
The Prime Minister's address at the UN General Assembly was a very poor reflection on Trinidad and Tobago. The speech, in terms of its content, did a grave disservice to the prestige and profile of our diplomatic standing in this region, across the hemisphere, and globally. World stage, the Prime Minister betrayed a fundamental misunderstanding of basic principles and concepts, such as the zone of peace. And she let down the country and all right-thinking people of the world by ignoring the plight of the Palestinian people, who today are suffering a genocide in Gaza, as was declared by the very United Nations that she was addressing.
So he talking about the Palestinians and them. Who have Palestine as it is today? They have it like that. Who have Trinidad and Tobago as it is today? The government that was there for the last 9 years. Foreign Affairs Minister Amy Brown. What did we get? What did we benefit? We get EDOs. Being a Foreign Affairs Minister, what did he produce? You know what we get? We get EDOs. We get yam. That's what they produce from our next country to our country. EDOs. Crop time and EDOs, sun hit the EDOs, see, that's it, they dry. Although talk for the yam and the dashing. We may not even get that. However, Pascal Bisasa, in her UN remarks, rejected the notion, saying violent gangs had taken hold and many were being killed, especially in Trinidad and Tobago. What does Amy have to say about that? What does Amy Brown, as the former Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister, have to say concerning the murder rate in Trinidad and Tobago, concerning the security for Trinidad and Tobago citizens, concerning cross-border, concerning protecting our borders? What does he have to say about that? What does he have to say about that? He can't say nothing. Because we benefited absolutely nothing. 9 years of talk and talk and talk, and all we get arrows and yam to talk about. That is all we got. Now, she reaffirmed the country's support for US-led effort to combat drug and illegal gun in the region, declaring the Caribbean must fight fire within the laws. Listen to this.
The notion that the Caribbean is a zone of peace has become a false ideal. While there have been objections to the U.S. military action against drug cartels in the Southern Caribbean, some objections from some countries, I state today, Trinidad and Tobago reminds the international community that unless forceful and aggressive actions are taken, these evil drug cartels will continue their societal destruction, and therefore we will fight fire within the law.
Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Said. Great program, great topic.
Thank you, my friend.
And these people who destroyed this country, what they wanted the Prime Minister to do is go up there and behave like a wajam and a hooligan as how they behave in this country. But they don't like decency, they don't like respect, they don't like manners, because that's what they have this country. They had brought this country today. There's lawlessness in this country. You have people playing music now. You know what they are doing now? We highlighted this years now. You know what they are doing now? They have microphone now and stopping in front people place and say Indian girl and thing come out. You know what I tell you? This is where we reach in this society, a lawless society. So that's what they want the Prime Minister to go up there and behave like a wajam and lawless. No. You all have the country where it is today. So she have to talk about the crime. That's what all afraid about. Everything must be about window dressing. That is what they want. We will have none of it in this country. This country will move forward. We will have decency and respect. That will be brought back to this country from international. If we seek international help to do it, that is our right to do it. And the Prime Minister is leading it. So we will have it. And Mr. Said, you are doing such a great job to bring back this decency and all of this lawlessness. We have to fix it. And you are leading, you champion this cause, and it will fix. And to Mr. Guerrero, who boasting about his 100 days, a 13-year-old that was brutally murdered. Saturday, she cremated, right? You had no sympathy, but you went to a radio station to offer sympathy and condolence to a seasoned broadcaster, a journalist. No problem, but what about this 13-year-old? Because she's of lesser straw, right? Guerrero, you take note of that, and wake up, citizens paying you. Mr. Said, you keep up the great work you're doing. God bless you and your staff.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but stay locked on. We have a lots more in store just for you.
We'll be right back.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome to Real Talk Financing and Investment, a place where your loans are guaranteed and you're rewarded with up to 5% upfront interest on your deposit. Why wait when you can invest with us today and reap the benefits? Speak with a representative at our central branch at 238-6716, 231-6219, or 339-1670, or our south branch at 242-9944, 241-0543, or 339-1670. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Investment company just for you. For you. For you. For you.
Throws you a curveball, and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, we're going down to Penelope Beckles. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles has stated that she is always humbled by the opportunity to be invited to share her experience on the world stage, as she has explained why she attended meetings alongside the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Listen to this.
So I'm here because I'm invited to speak at several events, and because I see the UN 80 years later, where the theme is basically looking at issues of peace and security better together. That's really the theme.
So I have a question. How come we didn't say UN and Penelope Beckles when Kid Rowley used to go? I don't know, I just ask on something and I leave it a dry there. However, on a Facebook post, United National Congress, UNC Pro, Dr. Kurt Mehur, questioned the opposition leader motive for being there, suggesting they may have clandestine nature. He said that, not Saieed. I would have said something different. Meanwhile, despite concerns expressed by her party's public relations officer, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissess has stated that she has no issue with the opposition leader Penelope Beckles attending side meetings during the high-level United Nations General Assembly in New York. The PM have no problem with that. That is not her business. The PM went there to do her stuff. She did what she had to do, And I guess she probably take a day or two to rock back a little bit, and then she will be back in Trinidad and Tobago. Both Prime Minister and opposition leader were in New York for the event, with a letter arriving 3 days before Prasad Bisasa. However, the Prime Minister said she does not share Dr. Mehur's concerns. Listen to this.
It's a free country. Trinidad is a free country. The U.S. is a free country. People are free to pursue whatever aims and ends that they seek to do. I have no issue. I did not meet her. I didn't even know she was here. I only found out when I came outside, you told me she was there. So she has not reached out to us. I have not reached out. We've been so busy, as you can appreciate.
Now, I'll tell you something. That is leadership. I, as the Prime Minister, I went to do what I had to do, and she didn't really bother who there from who and there. Her job was to be there to represent Trinidad and Tobago and to present something to the UN. She did that. The whole of the PNM crew could have been there. That didn't bother her. She went on a journey, accomplished her task, and that's it. That's all. I'm going to tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago, we real like Bacchanal, you know. Eh? We love that too bad. But nevertheless, switching gears, Trinidad and Tobago has secured a grant valued at approximately 94 million. 94 million, which falls under the agreement on economic and technical cooperation between the two countries and will support jointly approved projects in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bisasa said the money will be used to upgrade fire tenders first time in 9 years. Fire tenders going and get an upgrade first time. Listen to this.
Almost every fire station in Trinidad and Tobago doesn't have a fire tender. So if we could use this money to procure fire tenders, they will be uniform if we use one brand. Uniform in terms of repairs, maintenance, and whatever. So that is one area. I've already asked our Minister of Homeland Security to give me a listing of the stations that need a fire tender. One station I know that needs one, home first as they say, is the one in Penal that I had done in my watch, which 10 years later still does not have a fire tender. So that is one idea that we can use it for. And of course, we develop other ideas. It's 98 million TT, 94 million TT, which is 100 million RMB.
Caller, good night.
Good night, sir. I don't know what it would take for this PNM to realize that they are in opposition, sir. They are not the government. They are not the government. Why, Raouli was there. Why is it Penelope didn't go when he had conference outside and things as well? Why now you want to go? You had 9.5, almost 10 years, and you don't want to go and make no representation. People suffering here. Why is it you are going? Is it you are going to to spite the government? And secondly, the media. Why is it at any time they have any whatever? The opposition is given more airtime and whatever. The PNM is in opposition. Why don't they focus on the government? It is the United National Congress is the government. Now all of a sudden they have all the answers. These people shouldn't be speaking at all. These people had no right to be speaking because all the time they had a waste all the time. Why is it that they want to speak now and again? Why Penelope has to go there? And we see these other Caribbean leaders matching up to her. What is it? Let us remind CARICOM too as well that the United National Congress. Why is it I'm seeing the MSG and everybody concerned about the criminals? Why is it they're only supporting the criminal element? It is the people who suffer, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, my friend. So, viewers, numerous fire stations across Trinidad and Tobago, including those in strategic areas like Woodbrook, Penal, among others, have been reported to be without a functional water or fire tender. The PM also revealed that a memorandum of understanding was signed with the officials from the United Arab Emirates, UAE, to help rehabilitate and bring back the children hospital. Look at that, eh? Where Terrence is bumping, he gone now? Where Terrence gone? Terrence dead or he living? Or he's on a vacation on the other half of the world? We don't know. We don't hear Terrence again. Trying to make a listen to this.
Signed an MOU with the UAE, and coming out of that is a commitment from the UAE to help us rehabilitate and bring back the Couva Children's Hospital back up to speed. And they have offered to assist us in several infrastructure projects in Trinidad and Tobago. We met with Kuwait yesterday as well with similar development items. So all in all, this has been a great week for us.
So viewers, Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister Sean Sobers praised Prime Minister for securing a 94 million grant from China. The PM noted that the agreement would be used for Chinese labor, supplies, goods and service. Listen to this.
Where the Prime Minister has secured on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago a grant for 94 million TT dollars to be utilized.
What are we going to use that money for?
It's grant funded, so that's really great news for us. Means we do not have to repay, but there's no free lunch. So a part of the agreement would be for us to use it for Chinese labor, supplies, goods and services. I have an idea, but I'll have to discuss it further with my cabinet of what we may be able to use it for.
Caller, good night.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Saeed.
Welcome
back to your show, man. And Mr. Saeed, everybody in this country that is in authority is only talk.
Correct.
In the previous government, there was a minister that had 14 CPEP contracts. There was a minister husband that had 16 CPEP contracts. Mr. Saeed, the people that working in CPEP on the road is honest people. Not all is honest, but the majority of them is honest people that looking for a dollar to carry home to help mind their families.
Correct.
Nothing is done with the previous minister. Nothing is done with the previous minister husband that have all these contracts. And up to today, 3 or 4 months after, the CPEP people who honestly going to work and cut the grass and go home with a little $1,000 to help their family has nothing. Mr. Saieed Ali.
Correct.
And everybody in this country only talking about one another. We have never put people there to watchman nobody. Only watchman in one another like it was all in our house. This is not what's supposed to be. That's what we vote for. There is people in this country that suffering out of sleep and happy right now, Mr. Saeed. And they're only starting to talk and what this one and who spent that and who spent it. What are they intend to do with the 2 ministers that had all these contracts?
True.
What are they intend to do with all these people that doesn't have a job today? You promised that you're going to take the people and make them derivative workers in the ministry. What is the holdback? Now when you have X amount of robberies that take place, or they say, oh, crime going out of this and crime going out of that. But Mr. Saeed, if you was depending on your little $1,000 to go home every fortnight, and there is no more $1,000 to come, Mr.
Something
Saeed,
had to happen.
What you will do? You have a family home. What you will do?
Yes.
So robberies and crime and criminal will escalate in this country and will not stop. Because they are not attending to the issues of the poor people. They're starting to watch one another back and talk about one another. In my view, those 2 people that had all those contracts and CPEP should be locked up already.
Yes.
Them should be locked up already. Why nothing is being done? Either at that level or either at the lower level of the people who was working honestly and now have to suffer, Mr. Saeed. You have a good night.
Correct. Well said. Trinidad and Tobago. Let me tell you something. We are just waiting to see what the UNC has in place for the 10,000 plus people that lost their job. I am just waiting to see. They say they have something in place, so I'm just waiting to see. what October will bring for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. But nevertheless, viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. But before we go for that commercial break, I just want to let you know, Real Talk Equipment has 4 excavators. That is 2023 model. With the excavator, you're getting a new brand auger system when you purchase the excavator, viewers. Or if you're looking for an excavator to rent, is not a problem. It's not a problem, Trinidad and Tobago. We open for contracts. We open for contracts. Remember, it's 2023 model, viewers, new brand auger system, never used. Contact me at 339-1670 and we will talk business. Also, Real Talk Yacht Trinidad and Tobago is up for rental as of today. You want to go down the island with your girlfriend, you want to go down with a family, you want to go down with friends and family, is not a problem. Contact me at 339-167 viewers, 15 to 20 people. We catering for that crowd. We want them to be spacious. We want them to enjoy the boat, relax, go down, dip in the water. Look at the interior in this boat now. Look how comforting it is. Kitchen, bedrooms. I'm going to tell you something. Well, I mean, the bedroom is for rent, but... But Trinidad and Tobago, you could even cook. You had the video? Sunday night I was on my boat. Cooking Sunday night, just to show you. You're going down the island, you're cooking your duck, you're cooking your wild meat on the water. Some of you might want to take a little daru and thing, but there ain't no problem. Enjoy yourself. All you working hard, rent a nice yacht, go down the island. We have entertainment on board, nice music system. Music as requested also, Trinidad and Tobago, but we good. So you're looking to rent the yacht or you're looking for an excavator, Trinidad and Tobago, rent or sale, contact me, 339-1670, and we could set up something nice. So it's time now that we must go for a commercial break, but when we come back, $135.5 million in property tax collected. Where did this money go? Or who was this money allocated to? More when we return.
We'll be right back.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome to Real Talk Financing and Investment, a place where your loans are guaranteed and you're rewarded with up to 5% upfront interest on your deposit. Why wait when you can invest with us today and reap the benefits? Speak with a representative at our central branch at 238-6716, 231-6219, or 339-1670, or our south branch at 242-9944, 241-0543, or 339-1670. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Investment company just for you.
You a curveball and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
So, Trinidad and Tobago, where did the $135.5 million in property tax went? Or who inherited some of it? Minister of Planning, Kennedy Sarat Singh, has confirmed that the total sum of property tax collected as of May 2025 was $135.5 million, with fundings or funds distributed to regional corporation. The largest payment of $23.2 million going to the Tunapuna Piaco Regional Corporation. On Fares Al-Rawi queries about the details of the tax already paid, Minister Kennedy said the total number of people who paid property tax as at May 2nd this year stood at 132,124 persons. Listen to this.
Mr. President, I have been informed that the total number of persons who paid property tax as of May 2nd, 2025 was 132,124 persons. Sponsor question number 2, part number 2 of the question. Mr. President, the total sum of property tax collected as of May 2025 was $135,534,838.81.
So now Trinidad and Tobago, he also added that the money collected was initially deposited into authorized commercial bank account according to financial regulation and subsequently transferred to the exchequer account of the central bank. Now, he explained that the money was then distributed to each of the 14 municipal corporations in Trinidad as well as Tobago House of Assembly. Now, pressed by Al-Rawi on whether the government would continue with property tax, Minister reiterated that the tax had been eliminated. Listen to this.
Mr. President, the property tax collected by the Inland Revenue Division in its capacity as a receiver of revenue was initially deposited into authorized commercial bank accounts in accordance with Section 53 of the Financial Regulations made under the Exchequer and Audit Act, Chapter 6901. These funds were subsequently transferred to the Exchequer account at the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago. Pursuant to government policy, this will be eliminated in the future.
So now Trinidad and Tobago, in the case of refund, he said that the finance minister will deal with that matter. Now, the Tunapuna Piaco Regional Corporation has had the largest total prosperity payment of $23,131,000. The Sugar Owners Borough Corporation received $11,541,000 among many others. So Trinidad and Tobago, that is for that. But now we are hearing something new brewing in the country, that certain corporations never got money. That is something new that is brewing. So I want to know if this list on screen that you are seeing is true or false. But nevertheless, viewers, you know, I keep you up to date with the latest current affairs issue in the country. But I'm waiting to hear more about it. And when the bird starts to whisper, Trinidad and Tobago, I will whisper to you all also. Imagine that, eh? Imagine that. But nevertheless, we leave it. I'm putting a pin on that day for now, and I'll leave it because I myself want to know about which side is telling the truth. Because minister saying corporation get, and corporation head say, well, you know, we ain't get nothing. But I'm waiting. The pot is bubbling. The birdies are starting to sing. And my ears will be listening to toodly doodly doodly doo doo doo. But nevertheless, we'll bring the news to you of who's right and who's wrong. Switching gears a bit now to Homeland Security Ministry, Roger Alexander has confirmed that a $24.9 million contract awarded in 2024 for 3,000 body cameras for the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has been terminated in order to save money. Opposition Senator Vishnu Danpal had asked Alexander to indicate the status of 5,000 body cameras which were purchased for use by the TTPS and the percentage of officers who currently use body cameras on active duty. But I will tell you something. I must say this. Vishnu Danpal didn't have to ask Roger Alexander that, you know. His government was in power for 9 years. How much officers were using body camera back then until until April 28th? How many officers? Danpal didn't have to go and ask. It's only about almost 4 months now. They lost the election. But today you're asking? You now want to know that, Vishnu? No. Ask Marvin that. Ask Marvin that. I put all on the spot, you know, because all your clumsiness. All I want to play illiterate. But nevertheless, we will deal with that side of all your memory on national television. Now, Alexander said, based on information received, the TTPS tender for 3,000 body worn cameras, not 5,000, because I myself was shocked when I heard 5,000. He also stated that the contract has since been terminated. So listen to these two videos, Trinidad and Tobago, back to back. We go with Alexander.
Based on the information received from the Commissioner of Police, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service tendered for 3,000, not 5,000, as stated in the question, body-worn cameras in accordance with the regulations established by the Office of Procurement Regulations. A letter of award was subsequently submitted in August 2024 and was issued to a contractor in the sum of $2,965,310 Trinidad and Tobago dollars.
So now, viewers, he also stated that this contract has since been terminated when Danpal asked him. So listen to this now.
On September the 9th, 2024, the contractor provided the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service with a bond in the sum of $2,496,531 Trinidad and Tobago dollars. At present, that contract has since been terminated.
So now Trinidad and Tobago, listen this, listen this. Dan Paul asked why the contract was terminated. Alexander said it was done in order to save millions of dollars. Keep in mind, Trinidad and Tobago, that Clungenberg said this government has no money. Remember that, Clungenberg went on a platform and said this government has no money. So I asked Colin, how did you leave the treasury, Colin? To this date, that man had come out on no platform and told Trinidad and Tobago how he left the treasury. Or how much money in the last 9 years did the past administration place in the treasury. He can't come out and say, but you could come out and tell Trinidad and Tobago that this government has no money. So in return, I ask, if the PNM won election in the month of April, how are they going to manage the country for the next 5 years? How are you going to manage for 5 years to come again? Because the ball in this government, they have no money. So good. Alexander and his ministry now took the decision to save $24.9 million by terminating those 3,000 body cameras. So here it is. Whether the project is still a priority for the government, Alexander said yes, but maybe not right now. But listen to this.
In a bid to save millions of dollars, the contract was in fact terminated.
Thank you, Mr. President. Is the project still a priority for the government?
Honorable Minister of Homeland Security.
Mr. President, body-worn cameras are part of the tools for a police officer. So yes, the answer is yes.
Now viewers, Alexander said as of June 10, 2025, approximately 17.9% of TTPS officers use body-worn cameras while on active duty. Commissioner of Police Alistair Grovero was blunt on the issue of body-worn cameras, noting the original contract was scrapped because of the inflated cost. He said an audit of the existing device is underway. So imagine that now, According to Grovero, it was inflated. The $24.9 million was actually too much for those 3,000 camera. Listen to this.
Let us not look at what was done, but let us look at how it was done. Value for money in a time when the nation seems to be strapped for resources. In all reality, I can't remember the exact cost off the top of my head, but I can't pay $8,000 for a body cam when I could see it selling elsewhere for $2,500 or $3,000. That make any sense? No business sense whatsoever. So at some point in time, we have to realign resources and our needs with what it is that we could actually get from the resources that we are given. So it is not like we are left without body cams, because we are currently in the middle of an audit determining what body cams that we have that are currently functional from the older set, and we are redeploying them to our frontline officers.
Trinidad and Tobago. That was the Commissioner of Police. For 9 years, did Dan Paul ask anything about body cams? for 9 years. He works Central Bank. Today he's asking about body cameras for police. Where is the former Minister of National Security for PNM? Where is he today? And that is the one that's supposed to be asking that question. Where is them today? But nevertheless, there seemed to be a spike in violence against women and girls in recent times, according to opposition leader Penelope Beckles, as she is challenging government on the crime-fighting solution it promised during the 2025 general election campaign. So I want to ask Penny, what their commissioner of police did to fix crime, violence against females or mothers and daughters in Trinidad and Tobago. What? What did Ola do? Tell us. Bring out some statistics. Her comments stem from the death of 13-year-old Mariah Sinat, who was brutally beaten. Condolences to the family. Beckles says the child's death resonated with her, as she too grew up not far from where Sinat lived, and called for more sensitivity as it pertains to issues relating to children. So Penny, 9 years Ola was in government for, and this is what I don't understand. 9 years Ola in government for, did you all fix the Children Authority? Did you all venture into homes and see what was taking place? You come now to yap your mouth because you're in the opposition to find out about what exactly? And this is what I don't understand. Almost 4 months in the opposition and you are asking questions that are not supposed to fix 9 years ago. 9 years ago. Listen to this, what Penny's saying.
You talk about a young girl who would have dreamed to be whatever she wanted to be. And, you know, when you're a victim in that sense, and you may not have even known, you may not have had a clue that this person is after you. So my call is really for a lot more sensitivity in terms of issues relating to children, because not only her, we have seen over the last couple of months an increase in violence against both women and children.
So Penny brains now start to function after 9 years of sleeping concerning violence against women. She now started to think. She now gets up. She took 4 months to revive herself. 8 years, 9 years to sleep on Children Authority. So after 4 months of reviving herself, that's the only question she came up with. Only this one. So for the last 9 years, what was happening to the females? Where say they, Penny? You were sleeping? One thing I can tell on Trinidad and Tobago is that no government in this country or no high-ranking members of parliament could come alongside and play dumb, stupid, and dotish. You know why? You was in a position to fix it. To fix the problem. To bring legislation in the parliament. To fix the problem. And what you do? You do like Fitzgerald Hines. When you're tired, that's what they did in parliament for 9 solid years. And who suffer? Who suffer, Penny? Although Defense Minister Wayne Surge says that there are some killing that cannot be prevented during an SOE, Beckles remarks that this was the same government that said SOE would be a solution to crime. But how about I'm all extend SOE Penelope? You forget? That part of your brain was sleeping? Listen to this.
I mean, you would recall that that is one of the things that the government targeted the opposition about, the issue of crime, and really giving the country the impression that if you have a state of emergency, you will have this reduction. Now, we are seeing over the last month in particular, you have had several murders. So I think the population would have had an expectation that with a state of emergency, you would have a substantial decrease, and certainly that greater efforts would be made to protect women and children.
So I want to ask Penelope Beckles, leader of the opposition. The opposition is the PNM. The UNC is governing Trinidad and Tobago probably for the last 4 months. So I want to ask Penelope on national television, live, if the PNM under Keith Rowley didn't fix it for 9 years, you expect the UNC to fix it in 4 months, Penny? You see, that's common sense. That's common sense. That is common sense. You see, and the first thing all I will get off on is that, oh, the president, government have tens of thousands of people on the breadline. But what I want to ask you, Penny, is that the contractors and them who hired the lower people to build up the 10,000s of people, that those contractors had their document in order. Hence the reason why they lost their contracts, or contracts were terminated, and the contractor had no other choice but to send home the people he hired. You see, Penny, Ola wouldn't get to that point. Why? Why did 10,000 of people home? Why? You see, Ola wouldn't tell Trinidad and Tobago those points. But nevertheless, viewers, we're out of time for today. Remember, our run of this program is tomorrow from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. We'll be right back here another night for Real Talk with Saieed as we go live again. Until then, good night.